Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read for you from Matthew chapter 9, verses 9 to 12. And it says, "And Jesus came from where he came, and saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom. And he said to him, 'Follow me.' And he arose and followed him. And it came to pass that Jesus went to his house, and had meat. And behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat with him and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to his disciples, 'Why does your master eat with publicans and sinners?' And when Jesus heard that, he said to them, 'They that are whole do not need a physician, but they that are sick. Go and learn what this means. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.'" A lot of times, we're very quick to want to label people as bad without truly knowing who they are. Jesus can see the heart of a person, and we need to look at the hearts of each other to see if there is any goodness in them. And let's encourage one another where we see goodness in each and every one of us. Don't forget the people, the victims of Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, and Hurricane Maria in your prayers and your best wishes. And if you can do something to help, please help them. We're going to talk about the consistency of Canelo. Now, whereas Danny Jacobs has always been taking shots at Canelo since the time when Canelo asked Gennady Golovkin to face him at 155, and Gennady Golovkin didn't want to face him then, to the point of his last fight with Gennady Golovkin, where he was saying that Golovkin truly won the fight. Danny Jacobs has constantly taken shots at Canelo. Well, did Canelo take shots at Danny Jacobs? No. Canelo, after the Danny Jacobs Gennady Golovkin fight, said this of Golovkin. "Golovkin is one-dimensional. I thought he lost to Jacobs." He would go on to say this: "I saw nothing really new from Golovkin. He's a pretty much one-dimensional fighter. He's a fighter that's very aggressive, that comes forward. But I did see that when you have a fighter that's a little bit intelligent and moves and boxes, he's going to give Golovkin trouble. And I think that Jacobs gave him too much respect the first few rounds. And if he would have started sooner and not respected him as much, he would have won a clear decision. Even though that happened, I still thought that Jacobs won by 1 or 2 points. That's Canelo Alvarez on Danny Jacobs beating Golovkin. In terms of his own fight with Golovkin on Sunday, September 17th, covered by BoxingScene.com as well. Shout out to BoxingScene.com. Canelo said, "I won at least, not at most, but at least 7 or 8 rounds. I even wobbled Golovkin." Canelo would go on to say this: "I thought I won the fight. I think I was superior inside the ring. I won at least 7 or 8 rounds. I was able to counterpunch and even make Gennady wobble a couple times. It's up to the people if we fight again. I feel frustrated over this draw." Quite frankly, I agree with Canelo on both of his observations, both of Danny Jacobs' fight with Golovkin and also with his own fight of Golovkin. I agree with him 100%. Unfortunately, Danny Jacobs is a hater of Canelo Alvarez. I hope that he does end up fighting Canelo at some point in time, because sometimes the only way for people who throw shots at other people to shut up is simply for them to fight them and see for themselves how good those people are. But having said that, I would like to say this: since they're going to have a rematch anyway, the way to see who really truly won the first fight, in my opinion, is to have a rematch. And generally, the fighter who is the better fighter will win the rematch. So, I thought Canelo clearly won against Golovkin. I didn't think it was a draw at all, and I still don't hold to the opinion that it was a draw. I can see how some people would interpret it as a draw because they're looking at the aggressor and the more active fighter. This is what they were basically doing, but was he effective? I always say, was the fighter effective? And the answer is no. he was not as effective as Canelo was, at least. He had some effectiveness coming down to the closing rounds, but I will say this. Who won the last round? Canelo. Who threw the last punch? Canelo. Go watch the last round. Everybody agrees Canelo won the last round, and everybody agrees Canelo won the first 2 rounds. In fact, most people agree that Canelo won the last 3 rounds. My point being this. If Gennady Golovkin was so effective, Canelo wouldn't win the last round. It would be Gennady Golovkin. In fact, on some judges' scorecards, Canelo won the last 3 rounds, which would tell me that Gennady Golovkin was not effective. It was Canelo resting. If Gennady Golovkin was wearing down Canelo with pressure, Canelo wouldn't come back in the last 3 rounds. Think about what I'm saying. So, Gennady Golovkin did not wear down Canelo by pressure. What happened was, Canelo, because he's not used to moving his legs as much, his conditioning in his legs was not the greatest. That means his stance wasn't always perfect. Was Canelo exhausted at the last round? Of course, and so was Golovkin. But Canelo wasn't the one breathing hard through the mouth. It was Golovkin. My point being, Canelo simply has to work on footwork drills to be sharp all the way through the fight. That's it. All he needs to do is footwork drills. He also only needs to go to the body more. And he also has to be more emphatic when driving Golovkin back, even get him on the ropes if he has to. This is all Canelo really has to do, is make sure he's emphatically winning every single round like he did rounds 1 to 3 and rounds 12. And if you want 10 and 11. He just needs to do that consistently through the fight. When he lands body punches on Canelo, he should be more businesslike and intentional about what he's doing. I would also suggest to him that he attack certain parts of the body to disable Golovkin's jab. In other words, punish him for throwing a jab. Anytime he throws a jab, probing, whatever, punish him. You don't have to punish him for every single jab he throws. You don't have to be predictable. The next thing I would suggest to Canelo is don't let Gennady Golovkin touch you at all, because people are actually compiling those as points. When Gennady Golovkin touch jabs you or probe jabs you, and sometimes he actually touches your forehead, sometimes he touches your gloves, but they count everything. So don't let her touch you at all. Change up your defense just slightly so that he doesn't locate your head, and use more pivots in the center of the ring so that he can't counterpunch you. You're quicker than he is in reflex and reaction time, as well as in your in your foot speed and everything else. And you're very explosive, but sometimes you don't have to use that. Just use pivots. Get out of the way of what Golovkin wants to do. And you attack him, and then you just pivot out of the way. What I would suggest to Golovkin, there's too much. He doesn't have the skill set to really handle a Canelo. I'll be honest with you. So what I would suggest to him is pressure, pressure, pressure. I realize he's not good off the back foot. I would suggest to Canelo that he gets Golovkin in the corner, or spin the tables like Floyd would against Marcos Maidana. Spin the tables on Golovkin and back him up into the corner, and use your jab, use your forearm to lock him in place, and then work his body and work his head. So Canelo needs to flip the tables on Golovkin. You need to show that you're absolutely in control of the fight in every stage of the fight to beat this guy, because there's a lot of bias towards Golovkin. The fact that you actually won 8 rounds or more, I had you winning 9, and they didn't give you the fight, means you have to be very, very explicit, and you can't joke around in there. You have to be all business, all right? And your whole intention is to disable him, weaken him, and if he gets weak enough, stop him, okay? If you can get this fight to not go to the scorecards, even more power to you, Canelo. And I think you're only going to be bigger, stronger, faster, and better from this fight in the next fight. So that's what I got to say about Canelo. For Golovkin, he doesn't really have much he can do. All he does is increase the intensity and hope that he will land. Canelo gave him the opportunity because in round 6 and onwards, he was taking a break. But I would suggest to Canelo he pace himself properly, and he be fresh all through the fight, and therefore Golovkin will have no chance in hell of doing anything with him, because a sharp Canelo, Golovkin has no chance. He's completely outclassed. Golovkin will try to go to Canelo's body. Canelo knows how to roll punches. He knows how to block punches. He knows how to get out the way of punches. So if I were Canelo, I would perfect that, work my defense, make sure my defense is nice and tight, and then, you know, disable Golovkin. Take away his jab. Take away what he's strong at, his jab. Take away all his hooks. Well, he took away all his hooks, but still, they didn't see that, apparently. Take away his jab. Take away his hooks. Take away his body punching. Take away his straight right. Take away all the things he's known for, because he doesn't have the defense to deal with you. So punish him. When he comes, you know how to put up your defense and have your defense up nice and tight. After he's blown his load, make sure and punish him to the body. That's what I suggest. I think Canelo should win this rematch convincingly, either by stoppage or by unanimous decision win. I would like if Canelo can stop him. That's what I would want him to do. Stop him. So that, then don't even leave it to the judges. Stop his tail. If he starts fast, you got your tight defense. And you should not mess around. Go straight to him. You know, take the fight to him. But do it in a smart way. Box smart. Stay in the middle of the ring and show you can stay in the middle of the ring with this dude. Push him back. Because you know how to push him back. Those body shots is all you need to do. And go to this guy's body. This guy's not going to be studying about offense once his body's being hit. He's not going to study about offense. He will want to come, but he'll bounce up and down. And while he's bouncing up and down, attack him. Attack him while he's bouncing up and down, trying to reset. Don't let up on him. Don't just stand there watching him. Get him. You know, don't give him a breather. He was breathing heavy in the last fight. And then when you make him go find you, and make him miss. Make him miss a whole lot. And make him chase you all around the ring. And when you think he's depleted or lost, used up most of his energy, start working that body again. Alright? Tire him out. Tire him out. He's a well-conditioned guy, but tire him out. He's a target too easily. He's too much of target practice. Make it obvious. Make it obvious. Don't just fight in spurts sometimes. Sometimes you need to make him pay every time he throws and he misses. Make him pay. Even if it's one shot at a time. You don't have to land all those combinations. But one shot at a time, make him pay. Every time he misses, make him pay. It must be obvious. It must be obvious that he's missing and you're scoring. Every time he backs off, go to him. Use your jab. Go to him. Put some more pressure on him. Right? So that he knows if he's going to walk you down, you're going to walk him down. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to take what he has to offer and then you're going to walk him down. And punish him. That's the only way you're going to beat this guy. I don't care if you guys are friends. Punish him. You ain't friends while the rematch is going on. Punish him. That's the only way, Canelo. Anyway, on that note, you guys have a great one.